I want to speak to every person who's trapped and so worried that you want to die. Tomorrow belongs to God. I know you're scared. The times are shaky. The odds are set against you. And I know you're worried. And I know you're scared. I'm not saying you won't go through tests. I'm not saying you won't go through trials. I'm not saying you're going to get everything you want. But I'm telling you that God has an expected end for your life, and that his thoughts are good towards you and not evil. And whatever comes and whoever goes, God is still going to bless you. And you stop worrying about your future. God has got it. Tomorrow belongs to God. Worry is to have faith in the negative. Worry is faith turned inside out. Worry is responding to the negative voice louder than you do the positive. Your thought life is infected by worry. You can't make sound decisions when you're worrying. Anxiety is literally worrying about tomorrow. You profess to walk by faith and not by sight, and yet you want to know everything about something that hadn't even happened yet. You're making yourself anxious. You're making yourself sick. You're making yourself hard to live with. Maybe it's just me, but how many of you have found yourself struggling to rest in today for fear of tomorrow? Tomorrow belongs to God.
Isn't it interesting that in the context of worry and anxiety, Jesus talks about our relationship with the day? And I would like to say that there are many people in this room, and one of the reasons anxiety and fear might be intensifying in your life is because you are trying to live multiple days at once, and you can't. You are worked up about things that A, may never happen, and B, you may not even be there for them to happen to you. You have now. Are you here? Are you here? Are you somewhere 5-10 years ago? Are you somewhere 5-10 days ago? Are you somewhere 5 days from now? Or are you here? Here's what I love about God. He's so cool. He's like, I'm gonna teach you about today. And he says, it's not the most encouraging teaching on today. You notice he's like, listen, today's got a ton of trouble. So I just kind of focus on today because tomorrow's gonna have trouble too. But I love this. He's like, tomorrow will take care of itself. Which is another way of saying, like, guys, that's what I do. I'm in the future, I'm in the past, and I'm in the present. You can't be, you won't be, and if you try to be, you're going to be worried.
Have you prayed about it? It is what troubles you. It is whatever fatigues you. It is whatever keeps you awake at night. It is what is stealing your joy. It dominates our thoughts, our lives, and our future. Unless we learn to follow the counsel of the Apostle Paul, who encourages us to take it and place it behind two other words. Pray about it. Prayer is the act of taking it, whatever it is, to God before it can get to you. And we say, God, I can't handle it, but you can. I can't deal with it, but you can. I don't know what to do with it, but you do. And I'm going to leave it here with you. Peace happens when, rather than focus on it, we pray about it. This is the idea behind the apostle's admonition. He says, be anxious for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Here we're called to action. rather than giving in to it or being dominated by it, our response is to rejoice in the Lord, pursue gentleness or level-mindedness, be aware that the Lord is near, and now take it to God as quickly as we can. Pray first and pray most. That every time these anxious thoughts appear, we can choose either prayer or despair. So choose wisely. And the apostle urges us to be those who pray about everything and do so with thankful hearts, making our requests known to God. If you'd like to fill in the blanks, his point is simple. Pray about everything. Everything. If you wake up in the morning and say, Lord, help me, then you have created a lighter load. A part of my morning routine on the days that I do it well, I wish I could say I do it daily, but on my good days, I make a list of what could be a challenge in that day, and as I'm sipping on the morning coffee, I just say, okay, Lord, I've got this meeting at 10 o'clock. Will you please help me? I've got to have this assignment done by noon. Would you please help me? But I go specifically down my to-do list, and I just give it to God. And what I have discovered is, if I do that, and when I do that, I carry a lighter load all day. Because when I sense that deadline coming, when I am facing it, then I remember, oh, but I gave that to God this morning. I'm thankful because he's already gone ahead of me, and I can be grateful. And so my invitation to you is simply this. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it take any more sleep. Don't let it take any more joy. Don't let it rob you of being the person God has called you to be. Whenever it comes up, you take it immediately to God. You pray about it. You leave it with him.